Hello, my name is Cristian Tumbaco Núñez, and I'm going to talk about some topics. What is semantics? It focuses on how words, phrases, and sentences convey ideas, concepts, and relationships. Word, word meanings. For example, the word bank. A bank can mean a financial institution or the side of river. In short, semantics is the study of meaning in language. What is linguistic knowledge? Linguistic knowledge is everything a speaker unconsciously knows about their language that allows them to understand, produce, and interpret sentences correctly. Main components. First, phonological knowledge, sounds. You know how to distinguish pat versus pat based on sound. Second, morphological knowledge, word formation. You recognize ending like ed for past tense or s for plural. In simple terms, linguistic knowledge is the internal system of rules that allow us to communicate. True conditional semantics and compositional semantics. True conditional semantics, it focuses on when a sentence is true or false. For example, the cat is on a table. It is true if there is a cat. The cat is physically located on a table. It is false if any of these conditions are not met. Compositional semantics. Compositional semantics it focuses on how the meaning of a sentence is viewed. For example, the girl ate an apple. The girl, a family child, ate performs the action of eating an apple, a specific apple, meaning a girl performed the action of eating an apple. What is true in semantics? A sentence is true if the situation is described is the same as the situation in the real world. If not, the sentence is false. For example, snow is white, show is white, the sentence is true. Tautologies and analytics. Tautologies. A tautology is a sentence that is always true in all possible situations. Example of tautologies. If Maria is a teacher, then Maria is a teacher. True by definition of logic. Analytic sentences. An analytic sentences is a sentence that is true because of the meaning of its words. Example. Example of analytic sentences. Triangles have three sides. Part of the definition of triangle. In simple terms, tautology always it is true because of logic. Analytic sentence always it is true because of definition. Contradictions. A contradiction is a sentence that is always false in every possible situation. Example of contradictions. The sun is made of ice. Physically impossible. A contradiction is a sentence that can never be true, no matter the context, the word, or the situation. Thanks. That is all.
Entailment and relate concepts. Entailment is a relationship between two sentences in a which the truth of one sentence implies the truth of the other. For example, if we say John is a man, This implies that John is a human being. This is because the sentence John is a man instead of the sentence John is a human being. We continue with synonyms and paraphrases. Synonyms are words or expressions that have the same meaning. For example, big and huge are synonyms. Bad, awful, terrible, horrible synonyms. And good, fine, excellent, great, and hot, burning, fiery, evolving uh, synonyms. Paraphrases, on the other hand, are expressions that have the same meaning but use different words. For example, a dog is a domestic animal and a dog is a companion animal are paraphrases. We continue with a contradiction and ambiguity. And contradiction occurs when two statements cannot both be true. For example, the sky is blue and the sky is red are contradictory. Ambiguity, on the other hand, occurs when a statement has more than one a possible meaning. For example, a bank is a place to sit. My desk is a bank, a place to sit, or a financial institution. Eh, can be resolved through context, which provides additional information for understanding the meaning of a statement. For example, if we say a bank is a place to sit, the context may indicate that we mean a place of furniture and not a financial institution. We continue with principles of composition. The principle of compositionality states that the meaning of a complex expression is determined by the meaning of its simple parts and the roles that combine them. For example, the meaning of the sentences "the dog runs" is determined by the meaning of the dog and runs, and how they are combined. We continue with compositional semantics. Compositional semantics is the study of how the meaning of complex linguistic expressions is derived from the meaning of their constituent parts, words, and the synthetic rules that govern their combination. For example, the sentences "the dog is an animal" can be broken down into "the dog and is an animal," and the meaning of the sentences is determined by the meaning of these parts. Thank you.
Relation opposites or reverse antonyms. Okay. The reverse antonyms, they are two words that have the reverse relationship. It is if one exceeds the other, that's two. For example, the word bite and the word sell. If someone buys a book, for example, there is necessarily someone else who sell it. Okay, the next is waste form antonyms. We have some prefix to make antonyms. For example, an, in, non, and mis. We have one example for each one. Able and able, complete and incomplete, sense and nonsense, understand and misunderstand. The next is onomis or homophones. These words are words that sound exactly when the same when pronounced, but have different meanings and almost always have different spelling. For example, the word there, there refers to a place, and the word there, the pronunciation is the same, but this word show possession. The next is homographs. Homographs are words that are pronounced the same but have different meaning, and these words are spelled the same. For example, we have the word desert meaning a dry or sandy area, and also meaning to abandon. The next is heteronyms. Heteronyms, their words are spelled the same but have different meanings and different pronunciation. It is the key. Different pronunciation. For example, we have the word life. We can say I live in New York, but we can say in another sentences with different pronunciations, we are watching a live concert on TV. Is the different pronunciation. The next is polysemy. Polysemy, this occurred when a single word have multiple related meanings. For example, the word head. Uh, we can say body. The sentence, the boy hit his head. We refers to the physical part of body of his body, the boy. Eh, Another example is a letter. She is the head of the company. Another example, we can say, write your name at the head of the page, is the part of the page. Measurement for animals, for example, we can say the farmer owns 50 head of cattle. That's all. It's all. Thank you, teacher.
Theories of word meaning. Theories of word meaning aim to explain how words acquire meaning and how that meaning is interpreted. Some approaches focus on the relationships between words and the world, while others emphasize mental concepts of the role of language's uses in context. Each theory attempts to clarify how speakers understand and communicate meaning. Sense and reference. Sense refers to the integral meaning of the word, its concepts, or the mental content associated with it. Reference is the actual object or entity in the real world that the word points to. For example, the sense of the word city includes the idea on an urban area, while its reference may be in a specific city like London or Tokyo. Synonyms. Synonyms are words that have the same or very similar meaning. However, perfect synonymy is rare, and most synonyms difference lie in tone, formality, or use. For example, include begin and start, boy and purchase, big and large. Although their meaning overlap, they are not always interchangeably in every context. Antonyms or opposites. Antonyms are pairs of words with opposite meaning. Opposites help define concepts by contrast and are used to describe difference between states, qualitative or action. Examples include hot and cold, old and young, fast and slow. Complementary and binary pairs. Complementary or binary pairs are opposites where no middle ground exists. A personal thing must belong to one category or the others. For instance, dead or alive, true or false, present or absent. In this pairs, the denial of one automatically affirms the other. Gradable antonyms. Gradable antonyms describe opposite ends of a scale with many possible values in between. These pairs allow for degrees of comparison. Examples include tall and short, heavy and light, expensive and cheap. The opposite are not absolutely. Something can be somewhat tall or very light.
Hello, welcome to this little summarizing of general linguistics. So let's talk about, at first, eponyms. Eponyms are words whose meaning it is included in the meaning of another word, broader word. Let's think of it as a specific instance of a general term or general category. Um, like the words dog and cat are eponyms of the word animal. And next, let's talk about semantic features. Semantic features are the minimal meaning components that define a word. They are like binary labels as animate, human, object, female, male, and this helps help us to distinguish the meaning of one word from another, and this helps us to understand why certain word defined differently from another word. So in semantic features, we have semantic features of nouns and semantic features of verbs. Semantic features of nouns are specifically for nouns. So these features classify entities in the word. Important features, whether a noun is, include whether a noun is concrete or non-concrete, is countable or not countable. And next, we have semantic features of verbs. It is specifically for verbs and focuses on the type of action or state that they describe. Uh, it is an important distinction. It's it is if the verb is static or dynamic. Static verb is the verb know, and a dynamic verb is the verb dance, room, drive, walk, and others. Now let's move to the sentence structure and let's talk about the argument structure. So it is referred to number and type of argument or known phrases that a verb requires to form a grammatical sentence. So uh, we in certain verbs needs only one known phrase, but other verbs needs more known phrases to form a grammatical sentences. So next to the argument structure, we have thematic rows that describe the semantic function that each argument, each known phrases plays in the action of the verb. And for example, key roles include the agent who they want to perform the action, the team, and the location, that is where the action is happening. So it is important to understand that all these features